Hi, it's Steve, that HOA guy. I am here today to talk about rules and regulations as they pertain to your governing documents. So let's just get to it right away. First thing I want to show you is the seniority of documents that might apply to your association. You have various state laws. 6438 is for homeowners association. 6434 is for condo associations. 2403 is for all nonprofits, be they condo associations, homeowners associations, or others. And then they have the new Condominium Act, which is 6490, that has changes for all kinds of things, but it doesn't apply to Klahanie yet because we haven't adopted it. Then we have, after our articles of incorporation, which are very, they don't have lots of rules or uh, provisions for homeowners to be worried about. You have your declaration, sometimes known as the CC&Rs, covenants, conditions, and restrictions, and then bylaws and rules and regulations. Simply put, when you buy a property within a homeowners association, you're voluntarily subjecting yourself to the rules and regulations of that association. The rule for them is they can be more restrictive or explain senior documents, but they can't be in conflict. So as long as you don't have really clear guidance in one document, the other document can explain it to any degree that they want. So let's look at one real good example. And this is going to be um, the rule on some trash. So bear with me. And here we go. We have rules and regulations. So rule and regulation 4.8, entitled trash, says that um, no portion of the trash containers is in view from the streets within Klahanie except after noon of the day prior to collection day and removed from site by the end of trash collection day. So the rule is pretty straightforward. Most people know this. You can put your trash container out. Trash collection day now in Klahanie as of March 3rd of 2021 is Wednesday for everyone. So you can put your trash out after noon on Tuesday, and then you have to bring your containers back into the garage or behind the fence, not viewable from the road, by the end of the day on Wednesday. So pretty straightforward for a rule and regulation. And some previous board passed this, and it's gone. It's not really controversial. It's pretty much straightforward. I believe they have issued some fines from time to time, so sometimes people find out about it the hard way. The interesting thing is to go to the declaration. And the declaration is kind of interesting because it also has a section. They didn't name it trash, they named it garbage, but it has a very straightforward rule on that. Section 6.7, and the second sentence of it says trash and garbage containers shall not be permitted to remain in public view except on days of trash collection, period. So no there's no exception for the day before. So why did this happen? Well, what happened was a committee or a board thought we should have a rule on this. And rather than looking in the declaration to see if there already was a rule within the declaration or the bylaws, they just simply passed a new rule. Unfortunately for them, it directly conflicts with the declaration. So if you have the declaration saying you can only have trash containers out on the street the day of collection, then a rule that says it can be out there the day before is invalid. It can't be. You can't pass a rule that violates the declaration. You have to change the declaration. So the reason they didn't change the declaration is it's really hard to do. You have to have a vote of the entire membership. It's a big meeting, notifications. You have to have a lawyer review the change that you're going to put in, and then you have to record it if it passes. And it requires a fairly high participation of the owners. somewhere, I think, in the 75% range to change the declaration. So it's a real pain in the backside. And that's why they decided, well, let's just make a different rule. Unfortunately, that rule is not enforceable in any shape, form, or fashion because it doesn't comply with the declaration. So a previous board thought highly enough of the trash container situation. They thought it affected property values enough that they wanted to put that rule in the declaration, and they wanted to make it hard to change. So how should it be changed going forward? Well, assuming that most people want the rule to be the norm, noon the previous day through the day of collection, which has been around for quite a little while as far as practice, even though it's not legitimate according to the declaration, you might want to change the declaration to say that trash collection or trash receptacles um, or the rule regarding those will be as established in the rules and regulations that may be amended by the board from time to time. And that way, it doesn't specifically state anything in the declaration. It just says, look, go look at the rules and see what we've done then. So this board may have a desire a more strict rule, and a future board may change it to something else entirely. It's that common, that ease of change that probably influenced the original drafters to make this part of the declaration so that they didn't have boards changing the rules from time to time and there not being any consistency. So in this case, you've got a clear rule that violates a clear statement in the declaration. What do? You have to go by the declaration. So is our board doing that? I don't think so. From what I've heard, they're giving warnings for people that put their trash out prior to noon the day prior to collection on Tuesday. You put your container out at 10 o'clock in the morning, you're going to get a friendly little reminder. But if you put your can out at 2 or 3 or 4 in the afternoon, the day before collection, you're going to hear crickets, nothing, even though that's a violation just as much as a person that put their can out at 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Both of them are the same violation of the declaration. One is enforced, one is not. And that's not what boards are supposed to do. That's just an example. So careful what you wish for. If you think you want to be on a board, you might want to think again. It's a thankless job and it's a lot of work. If you want to do it right, you have to read your governing documents. If you have any questions, drop me a line and I'll see you next time. Thanks.